A Turkish cargo ship left the Russian-occupied Ukrainian port of Mariupol after a round of constructive talks with Moscow on grain, the Turkish Defense Ministry said, without detailing whether it was transporting wheat. The Russian Defense Ministry said in a separate statement that Ankara and Moscow agreed to continue discussing a potential safe corridor in the Black Sea for grain exports from Ukraine. Ukraine is one of the largest wheat suppliers in the world, but its grain shipments stopped and tons of grain are stuck in silos since Russia invaded the country, causing a global food crisis. Moscow denies any responsibility for the food crisis and blames Western sanctions for the deficit. The United Nations called on both sides, as well as their naval neighbor and NATO member Turkey, to agree on a corridor. Negotiations between the Turkish and Russian militaries were extensive, positive and constructive, the Turkish Defense Ministry said. The talks were led by generals tasked with managing a hotline between Ankara, Moscow, and Kyiv to find a solution to the crisis. The meeting in Moscow gave the first concrete result, the ministry said. Just a few hours after the end of the long meeting, the Turkish dry cargo ship, which had been waiting for several days, left the Ukrainian port. A Russian Defense Ministry statement on the meeting noted that the sides discussed the safe exit of Turkish merchant ships and grain exports from Ukrainian ports, as well as approaches to ensure safe shipping in the Black Sea. Turkish government sources said a quadrilateral meeting between Turkey, Ukraine, Russia, and the United Nations will be held in Istanbul in the coming weeks, possibly involving President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. According to sources, the plan was to create 3 corridors from the Ukrainian Black Sea port city of Odessa under Kyiv's control, from where both Ukrainian and Russian foodstuffs would be shipped. British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss is also going to Turkey for talks on the global food crisis caused by Russia's blockade of Ukrainian ports. Truss will travel to Ankara to gain support for international efforts to release the 25 million tons of grain stuck in Odessa to prevent serious global shortages, especially in Africa and the Middle East. Turkey controls the vital Black Sea entrance to the Bosphorus Strait according to the Montreux Convention, which allows it to block ships during wartime.